Hi, Katy.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us today at Caldy Business Club.
Thank you for having me.
It's been amazing. Your talk was honestly really interesting. I think you really captured the audience.
Thank you.
So we're here today with Katy Leeson, a consultant with previous experience with the social chain. You shared some really interesting insights about generational gaps in the workplace. I thought maybe you could just summarize a couple of your key points with us.
Of course. So research shows that 81% of people really struggle with communication across generations, and they find that their biggest challenge. And knowing how we built social chain and how the growth happened so quickly, it was definitely because our secret sauce was managing to build a culture that everyone wanted to be part of across generations. So we had some of the smartest people on social media were kids in their bedroom who'd created pages of influence on Twitter at the time. And we coupled that up with people who'd worked in marketing for years and could understand how to communicate with the biggest brands in the world. So we had the really creative experience with the actual commercial experience, and that's what made it work. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about talking about it, because there's so much opportunity now to make massive changes. We're also living in a world where technology is running so much quicker than it ever has before, that as leaders we need to be at the forefront of knowing how people want to be communicated to, how they want to work, how to get the best out of people. So that's why I love this topic so much.
Absolutely. I think definitely you touching on technology, it is such a fast moving thing in the workplace that I'm sure people my age, people a lot older, struggle with almost equally. You know, this new generation of AI is coming in that is completely new to all of us. It's a very interesting topic when you're talking about the generational gap. How do you find that influences people in the hours that they're working and the work expectations that they're putting on themselves, and what kind of friction that makes between generational gaps?
There's a couple of things. One on communication. I think I mentioned in there, like, tone is really difficult to read on a message. So you can't, like, very quick messages. We're so used to now just sending a message or sending a voice note, and tone is really hard to read. So I think you need to spend the time with your team so they understand context before you start just firing stuff at them, because it can cause anxiety and it can cause stress. If you get a message that you think is in a really harsh tone, but really it's just because I'm running between 7 things and I'm just trying to get something off my brain, it's having that context of understanding you as a human. But also in terms of technology and advancement, just being curious and having a culture of curiosity, I think, is really important. And then in terms of working patterns, when you've got people who are really good at setting their boundaries at work now, and I think, like, the generation that are coming through, the emerging talent, are so good at their boundaries, and they have their time that they work and they'll put their things into doing that work in the time that they've got. But the important and the crux of it is you've got to set a company that people want to be part of. You want to be part of the work, you want to be part of the culture, you want to be part of the vision and the mission. If you've got that, people will put everything into it, but they're just working within the hours that are set for work. They're not doing late nights, early mornings anymore, but they'll do everything they can in that time that they want to work.
There you go. Without giving away too much about your talk, you touched upon work-life balance versus, what was the phrase?
Blend.
It was incredibly interesting. We do encourage you all to book into one of Katy's talks, because I think what everyone pulled away was so invaluable about that difference between balance and blend. I don't know if you want to touch upon it slightly.
Of course. Yeah, so I think we have always had, and we've always strived for, a thing called work-life balance. And there's so much pressure to have a work-life balance. We all feel it, whether you're coming into the workplace and you've got to balance a social life and your family and your work, or whether you are a new parent and you've got to balance being a parent, doing your job, seeing your family. There's so much. And I think when you talk about balance, something's always out. And I think the pressure that puts on you can cause more stress than it's actually trying to achieve. So I like to talk, and I think we should all strive for a work-life blend where sometimes work is going to be more important. What you need to do in that job needs to be your focus. Sometimes you need to be with your family, and that's got to take priority. And I think building a life where you've got a really good blend, where you can work in the hours where you're the most productive, and you can get stuff done that you need to in the other parts of your life, is the best way forward. I really want to get that across, that blend is a massively important
Blend.
Blend.
I love it. Amazing. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Just a little shout out, Katy does actually do consultancy, and also you can book her in for some sessions. So we really encourage that because she has been amazing today.
Thank you.
And if you want to see more speakers like Katy, please feel free to look up our business club online. We have links to our website and also information on our Instagram. Thanks so much.
Thank you.